Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday. We'll call it a Week 9 early late games recap show. And we'll update you on the Sunday night game, which is now in overtime, tied at 17 between the Chiefs and Titans. It's 2nd and 10 at the Tennessee 11. KC has the ball. We'll update you on that one later. We've had a lot of great football action, and we had a team that made a big statement with a win today. A team that snapped a five-game losing skid. And one team that finally got their second win of the season in the early games today. And in one of the late games, a team came from 6 points down to score a game-winning touchdown for a big win late in the fourth quarter in the final seconds of the game. So, right now I'm going to go over all of today's action right now. Beginning with the Indianapolis Colts beat the New England Patriots. They walloped them 26-3. Indianapolis was held to just one field goal today. And New England just had this one from the get-go, and this was one of those games where the home team just took control of the game from the get-go. And so, and the Pats had 9 sacks and a dominant 26-3 victory today. And 9 sacks, excuse me. And I got to give the game balls to the Patriots. Mac Jones. 20 of 30 carries and attempts, 147 yards, 1 touchdown. Run. Rahamdre Stevenson, 15 attempts, 60 yards, and Hunter Henry, 4 receptions, 50 yards. Well, the Colts will have to regroup for their next opponent next week, which will be the Las Vegas Raiders. It will be them, so they'll have to try to get a win next week. The team that got their second win of the season finally was the Detroit Lions, who beat Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers 15-9 today, and at Ford Field in Detroit. Aaron Rodgers threw 3 interceptions. That's what cost the Green Bay the game, and the Lions hold on to beat the Packers today. And so that's why I've got to give the game balls to the Lions. Jared Goff, 14 of 26 carries and attempts, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jamal Williams, 24 attempts, 81 yards. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, 4 receptions and 55 yards. Well, Green Bay falls to 3-6, and the Lions go to 2-6. And I took Green Bay and lost, and I took New England and won with that one. And my brother-in-law also took the Patriots, and he won with that one, but he took the Packers and lost, so Green Bay will have to regroup for next week's opponent. In Week 10, and that will be, let me take a look here, who they will play. I'm trying to see. They will play Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys next week at legendary Lambeau Field. The LA Chargers beat the Atlanta Falcons today, 20-17 at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And Dicker kicks a winner to lift. He kicked a game-winning field goal to lift the Chargers over the Atlanta Falcons, 20-17. They've had to keep finding a new place kickers, and they just keep doing so. And I took the Chargers and won, and so did my brother-in-law. We both took it. That was one we agreed on. So, and Chargers go to 5-3. Atlanta falls to 4-5. So, whoops! I just lost. I gotta get back into that there. Sorry about that. Well, we are gonna go now to a team that made a big statement today. And did they ever? The New York Jets made a big statement with a win over the Buffalo Bills, upsetting the Buffalo Bills 20-17 today at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. What a game this was. And Wilson and the Jets defense, they stunned Josh Allen today. And boy, this was just one of those games. Stephon Diggs had made the Jets pay early, and they had been up 14-0, but then the Jets just took over, and they just went on to and Buffalo did have a field goal, but then that was it, and the Jets really stunned them today, and boy, well, the Bills will have to regroup for their next opponent, and they're gonna be out to bounce back next week, but I gotta give the game balls to the Jets. Zach Wilson, 18 of 25 carries and attempts, 154 yards, 1 touchdown. Michael Carter, 12 attempts, 76 yards, 1 touchdown. And, I said Greg was my mistake earlier. It's Garrett Wilson, excuse me. He had 8 receptions, 92 yards. The Jets go to 6-3. Buffalo falls to 6-2. So the Bills will have to regroup for Week 10 next week, which they will play, let me take a look here, the Minnesota Vikings at home. So we'll see if they can bounce back. Oh, shit, I did it again. Boy, now... And I took Buffalo and lost with that one. So did my brother-in-law. We both lost on that one. Now it's 20-17 KC with 2:09 left to go in overtime. And it's first to go to Tennessee. KC has the ball again. So hopefully... hold on. It just went final. Hold that thought. It's now a final. Let me... we'll have highlights later, but the Chiefs have beaten the Titans by a field goal in overtime, 20-17. And that was one I had that I won on. And so did my brother-in-law took KC as well. So this was one of those games where anything could happen, and so we'll get to highlights of that one a little bit later on the podcast. But right now we are going to go to the Minnesota Vikings were down, but they came back and they beat the Washington Commanders by the final score of 20-17 today at FedEx Field in Washington. And so I'm gonna cover my little here we go. And they came back to beat them, and they were down. It was and they were down, and it was I think 13 to. And it was a 13 to, and it was, and they always are finding ways to win, the Minnesota Vikings, and this was really, and they say a win is a win, and that's what it was today for them, and they really had their numbers. They really it was a seesaw battle back and forth, and they were down. It was 10-7 in the third, and then it was 14-7 in the fourth. And they came back and scored a touchdown, but I had a missed field goal, and then scored another touchdown, and the extra point was good. And that's what got him to come back and win the game, and that's what you got to do. So I got to give the game balls to the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins, 22 of 40 carries and attempts, 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interceptions. Dalvin Cook, 17 attempts, 47 yards, and I think it's Justin Jefferson, 7 receptions, 1 touchdown, 115 yards. And so the Vikings go to 7-1, and the Commanders go to 4-3. And so the Washington Commanders will have to regroup for their next opponent. And now we're going to go to the Cincinnati Bengals just walloped, and I mean walloped, the Carolina Panthers 42-21 today at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. And Joe Mixon scored 5 touchdowns. The Bengals just dominated this game from the get-go, and there was just no stopping them. Carolina struggled offensively and defensively in this game today. And so I got to give the game balls to the Bengals. Joe Burrow, 22 of 28 carries and attempts, 206 yards, 1 touchdown. Joe Mixon on the receiving end, 22 attempts, 4 touchdowns, 153 yards. On the rushing end, 4 receptions, 58 yards, 1 touchdown. The Bengals go to 5-4. The Panthers fall to 3-7. And I took Cincy and 1 on that one. I took Minnesota and 1. And my brother-in-law took Minnesota and he took Cincinnati. We both won on that one. And now we're going to get to a team that snapped a 5-game losing skid, which was the Jacksonville Jaguars. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders at Everbank Field of Jacksonville. They're home at 27-20. And just rallied from a 17-0 deficit to get the win today. And for the Raiders, it's another loss for them. They fall to 2-6. The Jaguars go to 3-6. And so Trevor Lawrence and Christian Kirk and Travis Interland, I think it's Christian. Yeah, Christian. They get the game balls for that one. I'm going to do these very quickly. The Miami Dolphins beat the Chicago Bears 35-32. The Seattle Seahawks hold on to beat the Arizona Cardinals 31-21. The Buccaneers came back down from 13-6 and got the win over the Rams 13-6. And just moments ago in overtime, the Chiefs beat the Titans 27-20-17. So, and it was a tight game between the Chiefs and the Titans tonight. So, this was one of those games that could have gone either way. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday Week 9 recap show, Sunday Night Football recap show as well. I'll be back with the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football pregame show and postgame show tomorrow, before and after the Baltimore and New Orleans Saints game, before and after it's concluded. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.